What's going on, guys? This is Damien from the Lookout, and I am here with Nicholas, who won third place at the Oceania Regionals with none other than SS4 VEGITO XENO, the newest black leader. Hey Nick, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine as well. I am very excited to hear about your process of building and piloting the deck. It's a third place. That's a massive achievement. Congrats, mate. And
Thank you.
yeah, so I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions before we dive in. Why did you choose SS4 VEGITO XENO for this event?
So for the event, I decided, well, I was tossing between this deck and Fu because I've always loved playing Fu. It's a fun, janky deck, and I've just been testing a lot with both of them, and SS4 just really stood out to being really aggro early game, and getting your opponent down to 3 life turn 2 is just insane, really. And yeah, it's just incredible that the free counterplay is literally carrying this deck, I reckon, in my opinion, but yeah, it's
the
really
free counterplay is like charismatic villain on steroids. Like it's insane.
It is.
So, can you just, before we start, can you briefly just go over the leader for the viewers who are new to the game?
Sure. So the SS4 Son Goku and SS4 Vegeta, when you combo with a Son Goku or Vegeta Xeno, you burst one and draw one. That's pretty standard. And once you awaken, when you have 4 or less life or a Black Z Unison with specific cost of 2 in play, you draw one, switch one energy active mode, and go down to 6 life. You go permanent is pretty busted, actually. Being able to Union Patara using cards under your Z Unison is really, really broken, in my opinion. And when your Black Z Unison or your card with Union skill attacks or activates blocker, you draw one, and that card gains plus 5k for the turn. And activate battle, you can up to 2 black cards with 5k combo power from under one of your Z Unisons or under any battle card in a combo with the skills to get for the turn. Really big in this sort of meta game.
Yeah, that can. Yeah, that's like blasting combo power out of nowhere sometimes.
It is
insane. Okay, so let's start. Take us through the deck. Let's start with the first 4 cards. What we have here are the archetype engine. So you're playing. Yeah, go.
Okay, that's all right. So we got for each of the 4 drops Son Goku and Vegetas. They're standard staples in the deck. You don't want to see them turn 1. Being able to start filling up your drop with bursting cards with mostly Goku. You want to actually being drawing cards, not searching for more of your pieces with Vegeta. But other than that, Goku is your go-to for turn 1. Vegeta's there if it's last resort. And we got 2 of the 5 drop Gokus and 3 5 drop 3 I can't speak. 3 of the 5 drop Gokus and 2 of the 5 drop Vegetas. This ratio, I'm finding I can use Goku in a bit of a pinch where I need actual cards in my hand, whereas Vegeta is he's just there for a crit, which I'd rather be swinging with bigger bodies than having just crit. Really, it's having more damage a bit bigger in late game, and being able to combo with them if your opponent doesn't swing into you, you're able to combo one of them to get 2 Z energy in one swing is actually really helpful in that worst case scenario as well.
Yeah, so these are the baseline, the base pieces. These are from the archetype itself. Use them for Union Fusion here and there, and then we get into meat and potatoes of the deck. 4 copies of the new counterplay.
Absolutely busted.
Yeah, this card is like, it reminds me, it feels like an apology, like, okay, Black didn't get the free counter for Unisons in set 10, So like, here's the most broken thing we could come up with.
Exactly. And yeah, being able to like being your leader as well on top of that is just pretty good. And even on your turn as well, if counterplay with or just counter attack with like a robotic or something, you play that, you bring your leader up to 20 for that turn. It's pretty handy as well. And I've noticed that the actual counterplay against Green Gohan is just insane. It slows the deck down so much.
Yeah, so
But
speaking
yeah,
of that matchup, so when you play against Green Gohan, you are, for example, for our viewers who are wondering how to play in the matchup, which cards do you usually target? What do you look to get out and then counter with this card?
so once you get your Z Unison out, and you have to have your 5-drop in hand. You have to either search it or try and get it back from your warp by using cards. But usually you want to hit the first card that they play from under the hyperbolic time chamber. You just slap that down, get rid of that card, and they're just behind a turn after that.
Yeah, there
It's
you
just
go.
insane.
There
Just
you
slows
go,
it down.
guys. Yeah. And then we have another absolutely insane card, which is wow. Yeah, the big boss monster.
Yeah, SS4 Vegito. Literally, you just swarm the board with a whole bunch of Vegetos. You're not going to lose. So many 30k blockers. It's insane. Just being able to block everything, and just your opponent has the combo to actually kill them. You're like, yep, cool. Just combo some cards from underneath them. Cool, 40. Just really good.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like it's similar to thwarting the Dark Empire, just like an updated version. Like 1 energy, 30 double barrier blocker, restand, like do everything.
Literally.
Yeah. Um, then we, speaking of thwarting the Dark Empire, there is of course 1 copy of thwarting in the deck. Because like
Absolute staple in any deck.
yeah, there's like zero reason not to run this card. Plus, you have fusion pieces, you have overwhelm, you have everything you need in this deck to get it out.
Yeah.
And then, okay, 4 copies of Beyond All Limits. Okay.
So this card is my favorite in the deck. This is the MVP of the deck that I try and overwhelm every single turn. To just bring back any piece I need, or bring back copies of itself to just keep overwhelming, getting stuff in warp, and to just bring pieces back to hand. It's real game changer having, and the Vegeta as well, the other overwhelm target that I kind of didn't actually use, is also pairs nice with the Goku, being able to pay 1 to play that for another 30k crit. And yeah, real MVP in my deck. Best card.
Yeah, you can also use it to, yeah, for example, you can use it to get your counterplay back in some situations, or some
Yep,
other
your
key cards.
counterplay, your Vegeta, your Gogeta. Absolutely big. Just keep playing that Gogeta if you wanted to.
Yeah, the card is amazing. Speaking of the other one, we have 3 copies of Heated Fighting Spirit. This card is also like really, really good.
Really good for pressure during that late game.
Yeah, and also a Union Potara piece as well. So, okay, what about this one? I'm seeing it included in some lists. 3 copies of Fearless Fusion.
So I've actually dropped this down to 2 after tournament, and the reason why I'm playing this is because it is a union target for Goku and Vegeta, obviously, and it has blocker. So if you block with this, it's gaining plus 5k, and you're able to draw a card. So if you don't have Vegito somehow, you can just play this. You have your blocker, draw 1, and get cards underneath Unison as a backup if you don't have it, which is pretty good.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the combat is also good as well. But both just as good in their own sort of aspects. But yeah, it is solid.
Then we have, well, no need to say much about this one. That's the super combo. Like, yeah, it's the black super combo. That's it. For your counter attack, you're going with 3 copies of Kai Labyrinth.
The Kai is actually really good in this meta. Being literally, when you get floodgated, you're kind of limited to what you can do after that. So you're just sitting there with, 3 to 4 energy up, like, cool, I'll just wait and pass turn. You got 2 Kais in hand, a petrification. It's really good just getting rid of those pesky cards that like stuff from the Z deck as well. Secrets and whatnot. Just permanent removal if you wanted to.
Yeah, that is very, very great logic, because, yeah, we live in a floodgate meta now, so, might as well run 3 copies. Then we have 2 copies of Brainwashed No More. How useful? I am wondering. I'm not seeing this one too often. How useful was this card at the event?
I'd say this would only be good in a mirror match, if anything. If you're both getting a whole bunch of Vegetos out with double strike, you probably just want to take 1 life instead of 2, and same thing, Floodgate meta, you're going to have energy up for that as well.
Gotcha. Then we're moving to, well, the blacks. There's also not much to say here. That is the black Floodgate, quote-unquote, Bardock the Tenacious. Just overwhelm for 1 energy Floodgate your opponent. Because black doesn't have other Floodgates. So, I mean, it has.
Unfortunately.
But, yeah.
Well, that are this cheap.
Yeah. 2 copies of Hostile Saiyan Encounter. So I guess just to prevent some extra damage. Just as a negate.
Exactly, yeah. If your first negate doesn't go through, you got a second one there.
And then we have your SCR of choice was Evil Saiyan. Okay.
It's the only one you can really choose, really. Yeah. You're going to be bursting a whole lot in this deck. You run any other secret rare, it's going to go drop. You're going to go, oh no, there goes my secret rare. Whereas Gumbo, you go to drop, okay, cool, there's my secret rare. I'll warp that and play it.
Yeah,
this is really no-brainer after that one.
Yeah, this is the best black secret rare just because of that. Like I bursted it. Okay, it's technically in my hand now, so it's...
Yeah, technically.
Yeah. Then we are moving to 4 copies of SS4 Call, because, like, yeah, you basically hit anything in the deck with this, like almost anything.
Essentially, yeah, every common piece you need, you're hitting it with SS4's Call, and that is also the last card to hit the drop for my overwhelm for 6 during turn 2 as well. That is an important card for my combo in this deck.
We also have the standard Free of Petrification. You have to play Free of Petrification. In this meta, just stops big scary boss monsters, SCRs and other stuff. Free of the Kamehameha. These are just now negates. 3 copies of... So you're going very hard with negates. So free support, free petrification, free Kais, Bardock the Tenacious, Gohan, Brainwash No More. There's a lot of negates in this deck. A lot of damage.
If I'm not getting a turn on attack and my opponent's not getting a turn at playing the game, that's that's how it's going to go if that's last resort.
And the last card in the main deck, I love this one so much. Kraken's 1 copy of Kraken Spacetime. Have you managed to steal some games with this?
Yes, I did actually. A couple of games I got this off. Just pop that off and just dump everything down. It's just such a... Watch your opponent's face just go, oh no, I've lost. There's no way I'm getting out of this one.
Yeah,
it is good.
Especially in this deck where you can activate battle to get an additional +10.
Yeah, +10 underneath. Yeah, exactly. And you've managed to get the counterplay out. That's an extra 5, 45 on top of that. You're already for free, pretty much, almost 45. Then just start dropping.
Insane card.
It is.
Then we are moving to the Z deck, the newly expanded Z decks. Let's see what's here. So okay, this one is the one that I'm wondering the most. Final Kamehameha.
Oh, this card. The reason, like, in this deck, you only need the Z Unison and maybe a couple of other cards, but I just found room for that, and like, why not chuck it in? It's pretty useful given that 10k, along with warping something on field that you don't really want to deal with, is pretty handy. But I've decided to chuck it down to 1 and add a Surmounting the Impossible in for that 1 extra life drop. But yeah, it's actually helped out in a couple of situations, being able to get rid of cards that I don't really want on board. Like the 8-drop Gohan, and just get rid of that with Final Kamehameha. It's problem solved. The 10k on top.
Gotcha. Then because you only just like need the Z Unison. So 3 copies of the Z Unison, which is this card pretty scary.
It is. If you can't get rid of it, it's not going to end well. If you do get rid of it, cool. You're just slowing the deck down a little bit, not too much, in my opinion. But if you bring another one out, you're wasting your resources, but you're also gaining an advantage as well, bringing another one out, fresh, almost. But yeah, it is cracked.
Yeah, the card is insane. In combination with the new counterplay, this is just insane. So
it is.
Then we go to 2 copies, the standard things. 2 copies of Boo, 2 copies of SS4, because you can get like a big attacker for 1 energy. Like, why not?
Exactly.
And only 1 of the Z extras, the first Kamehameha. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really use the first Kamehameha much, actually. It's just there, just to fill up space, really.
Yeah, we get a lot of these like extension of Z deck that we got with the roll, but I'm seeing more and more decks just putting things in to fill space, so because you don't need much in these archetype heavier. You're not running a single so you're not running a single Z battle for the archetype, and you're not running any of the promos.
No. Well, with the Z battle, you're gonna chuck cards underneath your Z Unison from Warp, so there's not really any point when you've already got plenty of targets to under your Z Unison and or field, and it's just no point just wasting an energy just to play that, and it's just no good. And the promo, not really. Like I said, same thing. Already got plenty of targets underneath the Z Unison and on field. I just turbo out that much that I just don't need them. They don't really do much for the deck.
Gotcha. Yeah. Makes perfect sense though. We go to finally the last thing is the side deck. So the final thing in the deck, let's check out what you sided. 2 copies of Hunt of the Demon God.
For the pesky green matchup, for any uneasings or any, and for blue as well. Actually, blue Gogeta. It's really good against some of their cards where you don't want the activate blocker, and Aegis as well. Just Spirit Boost, negate their skills. It is really good.
Yeah, because you're already running a Unison, so might as well. 2 copies of the Bora, that's just staple hand destruction hate. 2 Gohan changing history. So once more to stop a blue decks.
Blue, yep.
Yeah. Did you run into a lot of blue at the event?
I only ran into a Tapion, I think. That's the only one. But no, I didn't. I'd actually cited that in, but didn't get. Oh yeah, I did use it actually. Yeah, it did stop him. Yes, I did near the end.
Okay. Then we go to Black Smoke, because we're in a Unison meta somewhat at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
2 BMS. So, what did you cite the BMSing for? What was it? Because I see this one often gets dropped. So whenever I see it inside boards, I need to ask, like, well, what was this for?
So I used it against a Tapion player as well, because they bring 1-drops out for free pretty much. So you play that, they're going to be discarding 4 cards if they play 2 of their 1-drops from their combo area. That was really big during early game there. And any other decks that require little ones like the other Black Vegeta starter deck, if someone bought that in, that would be a big hindrance for them as well.
Yeah, that's one of the better ways to just stop the Tapion. Just I'm like, no, you're not drawing now. No, you're just discarding things from hand.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so on that note, Koitsukai as well does an amazing job at doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Really good card.
and
being able to fix hand as well.
And the last one, the one that I barely ever see, Vegeta making an entrance.
So this one was specifically for Cooler Mill that I really struggled against. So I decided to grab those, and I actually didn't run into any. I saw 2 coolers there, and I'm thankful I didn't run into any. But that was there in case I did run into a cooler.
Okay, yeah. I was reading the card and barely remember that it exists. Okay, so guys, this was the deck profile. Link as always is in the description below. Before we go, Nicholas, do you have any shoutouts?
Just probably a shout out to my mate Todd, who's helped me test a whole bunch of decks before going in, and everyone at Tech Zone Geelong for also helping out there as well. Other than that, yeah.
Awesome. So, thank you, Nick, for joining us. Guys, this has been Nick with his deck profile. This is Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.